Nicolas Jackson is a Bayern Munich player. This is, of course, something we discussed on yesterday's show. A lot of stories about him going to Munich. And then, of course, because of the injury, meaning that he was going to come back to Chelsea. But he's going to Bayern. That's it. Done and dusted. Bayern with an obligation to buy, Jules, yeah?
Yeah, loan fee, obligation to buy at the end of the season, and bonuses on top of that obligation to buy that can get the whole package to 80 million euros,
Wow.
which I never thought I would say that some club could actually have agreed to potentially pay that much money for Nicolas Jackson, especially Bayern, who really, if you look at it, he's going to be on the bench. There's no way, unless company wants to try Harry Kane and Nico, striker partnership combination with Olise on the right and Luis Diaz on the left. But once Musiala comes back, certainly towards November, December, and even Gnabry will play as a 10, Olise on the right, Kane up front, Diaz on the left, and Nico's position will be on the bench. But hey, it's a loan fee of 15 million euros. Then there's the obligation to buy at 50, and then potentially those bonuses that can put it up to 80. But
Jules,
I think this is a good deal for Chelsea.
Why have they paid this much?
I think Bayern has been desperate for a long time now to get another body in, not particularly, a starter, because their front four, especially when Musiala comes back, it's pretty amazing. I mean, what front four is really better than Musiala, Olise, Diaz, and Kane? So they wanted another body, which I can understand in case there's an injury, and they were literally linked. They were linked with so many forwards / wingers / number 9s through the whole summer. Could not get anything through the line. Even we talked about Garnacho earlier. He didn't even want to look at them. Xavi Simons, the same. Even Christopher Nkunku at some point was quite keen and then decided not to go there because he knew he was not going to be a starter. So for Nico, he seemed quite happy to go there. Good for him. For Bayern, it's quite a lot of money for somebody who, for quite a lot of that time, is going to be on the bench because, again, he's not better than anybody in that front four.
If you were sitting on the fence, not that many are, if you were sitting on the fence thinking about how the game has evolved and how the money is now, and you didn't think the game had gone, this is just proof. Nothing against Nicolas Jackson, but he's going to Bayern Munich on a hefty loan fee with an obligation to buy as Chelsea's third choice striker. I mean, it just, some of the moves that are occurring these days just smacks of agents getting weighed in heavily. People getting paid behind the scenes, money changing hands, and players making moves that you sit and go, really? I mean, is Nicolas Jackson, Bayern Munich are a juggernaut of European football.
It's not the agent's fault, is it?
No,
isn't it Bayern Munich's fault for leaving things last minute?
No, but what I'm
their
saying
job.
is Bayern Munich, and you know, they're talking about how a club's run. Ole Hoeneß and all these, as Jan calls them, muppets upstairs, you know, leaving all this to the last minute. Are we actually saying that this juggernaut of world football, European football, is Nicolas Jackson was their option? Yeah. Is that what Bayern Munich are telling Vincent Kompany?
The odd part is that Bayern sell Matthias Tell earlier this summer. It's 40 million. Now, whether Tell was absolutely adamant that he
and
wanted...
Kingsley Coman as well.
And Kingsley Coman, that they wanted to leave. But you sell Tell, who plays the exact same position as Nicolas Jackson, for 40 million to Spurs or somewhere around, and you bring in Jackson, or initially for a loan, but it could rise to as much as 80. That makes no sense to me at all in any single level.
Oh, hold on. They didn't, I might be wrong here. Thomas Muller did not retire. They did not renew his contract, right?
Absolutely.
I know Thomas Muller is the wrong side of 30. Are we saying that Bayern Munich think they're going to be better off with Nicolas Jackson sat on the bench than Thomas Muller coming on for a cameo now and again? By the way, just paying his wages, which I'm sure was no small sum. But they've let him go to bring in Nicolas Jackson. Let that sink in.